Coming up on tonight's broadcast, OSU student enrollment increases, a new app to keep students safe, and a controversial Super Bowl ad. All that and more right here on the Beaver News.
Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the Beaver News. We're glad to have you with us. I'm Mary Johnson.
And I'm Hayden Wilcox.
Last Thursday and Friday, Oregon State, with the help of the Hunger Task Force, Partners for a Hunger-Free Oregon, and the Oregon Food Bank, hosted the Ending Hunger in Oregon 2012 Food Security Summit. At the summit, they discussed a 5-year plan for fighting against hunger issues that face the state of Oregon. Alex Hoborn of the Daily Barometer reports that a new plan is called the Oregon Call to Action 2010 to 2015. The plan's goal is to eliminate hunger and establish food security in the state by addressing the underlying problems that cause food insecurity. Unfortunately, Oregon, on and off the past 10 years, has led the position as the least food secure state in the nation. The hope is to do more than just respond to the issue, but provide hunger relief by preventing hunger before it begins, by changing government infrastructure.
With all the major universities around the country, many people forget why Oregon State University is so special. The students and staff here know we make a difference, but how much of an impact do we really have? The answer might surprise you. In a recent study done by Econ Northwest, Oregon State University was shown to have a global economic impact of $2.6 billion. Over the years, the university itself has brought over $1.9 billion to the state of Oregon alone. As reported by Don Iller of the Daily Barometer, OSU has helped create over 18,000 jobs around the state, including many in the Linn and Benton counties. In fact, due to student spending in town, nearly 4,000 jobs have been created in Corvallis alone. In a recent speech by Ed Ray, president of OSU, he described how proud he was of the university. Quote, "What is happening at our university is quite simply remarkable. OSU's impact is growing profoundly, exponentially, increasing opportunities for the success for our people of Oregon by way of educational opportunities, service to our communities, and scientific progress at a faster rate than ever before, and we are expanding that impact across the nation and world. The state of the university is not just sound, but exceptional."
This past Wednesday and Thursday in the Trusting Tree Lounge, students, staff, or anyone passing by were invited to sign the pledge event, the 2012 Martin Luther King Jr. week-long celebration. And Nancy Buchanan of the Daily Barometer reports that the event was put on by the Van Hellenic Council, and the pledge is set to be displayed after completion. Some wrote personal messages supporting freedom, peace, and social change. Some wrote their name, symbols, or their Greek letters. Each signer was offered a multicolored ribbon with the, quote, "Choose at the crucial moment," the theme of this year's celebration.
For 35 years, the Department of Oceanography at Oregon State University has gone on countless expeditions to the Pacific to study fisheries, underwater earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis, and oceanic dead zones, all with the help of the Wekema. The Wekema, the 184-foot-and-a-half vessel first purchased for the university in 1975, will be seeing the end of its excursion days as the department plans to retire it this year. As reported by the university, the Department of Oceanography will be retiring the ship to save on expenses. Recent research showed that the extensive wear and tear on the ship over the years, like the hull corrosion, has made it more expensive to repair than to replace. To replace the Wekema, the department has adopted the Oceanus. This vessel, while not quite as large, will provide everything that is necessary for continued research in the field. Mark Abbott, Dean of the College of Earth, Ocean, and Atmospheric Sciences, said, quote, "The Oceanus is very capable and will be more cost-effective to operate over the next 5 to 10 years, at which point we hope to have a new ship."
According to the Oregon State University website, the student population of Oregon State is expected to rise to between 30 and 35,000 students by the year 2025. New buildings are being built, and campus around campus, and new professors are being added to the faculty to accommodate the increase in student population. Around the city, new townhouses are being built, and a new development is being constructed around 29th Street, Tyler, and Polk Avenue, which used to be old apartments that were built around World War II. The tenants of the apartments were notified in October about the project and are beginning to relocate. Along with the increasing population of Oregon State, their goal by 2025 is to, quote, promote economic development and social progress, end quote.
When we think of the endangered species list, we think of polar bears, pandas, and bald eagles. But there are also endangered species right here in our own Northwest. The wolves, supposed masters of the forest, are actually near extinction here in our backyard. However, as reported by Amanda Antel of the Daily Barometer, scientists at the Oregon Fish and Wildlife Department are doing their part to help bring back the wolves. The Oregon Fish and Wildlife Department has found that out of the 5 main packs of wolves that used to roam the area, which include the Imnaha, Umatilla River, Walla Walla, Winnaha, and Snake River, only one, the Walla Walla pack, has a breeding pair. It is assumed that the other packs have either completely dispersed or have been hunted down. Despite the fact that they are predators, Dr. William J. Ripple, OSU Professor of Fisheries and Wildlife Ecosystems, said that they can make a wonderful addition to our system and benefit our ecosystem. But farmers and ranchers say otherwise. Before they were put on the endangered species list, wolves took livestock from farms, prompting farmers to hunt them down. In order to better manage the wolf problem in Oregon, the Oregon Fish and Wildlife Department has divided the state into 2 parts, east and west. In the east, wolves are no longer endangered, but in the west they are nearly extinct. Based on current efforts, the OFW hopes to have 5 breeding pairs on each side of the state by the end of 5 years.
There's a new app that has come out to let students become more safe, especially at night while walking home. Street Safe is a unique service that has turned, quote, smartphones to a personal security system. Martin Ford of the Daily Barometer reports that students using this service create an online profile that has their name, age, description, or any medical conditions. And in an emergency, this profile can be shared with authorities and can pinpoint the exact location using the GPS on the smartphone. There are different ways to use the app. The Walk With Me option puts you online with a safety professional in the area. The silent alarm feature is a more distinct or more direct way to receive assistance. If you're interested in using this assistance, and view different plans they have for college students, visit. We're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere, because we have sports update and a look at your local weather forecast.
Welcome back to the Beaver News right here on KBVR. In an effort to provide deeper socio-cultural understanding, OSU faculty members Joseph Orozco and Tony Vogt have come together to create and provide a new class for this term. The class? Political Philosophy of the Occupy Wall Street Movement. As reported by the university, the 2 faculty members, inspired by the movement, have designed the class to discuss not just the activism behind it, but the political, social, and cultural ideologies behind the movement. Since the beginning of the class, many students have asked the duo what exactly the Occupy protesters plan to accomplish through their movement. To this, Orozco replies, quote, social movements often do not change anything politically, at least in the short term. Look at the feminist movement. They were not successful in getting equal rights movement passed, but that did change the movement on how we talk about gender and power dynamics. There was a cultural shift, end quote. Currently, the class is discussing how this movement has compared with other social movements from the past. We now go to Joe Hedberg for a local weather update.
Hello, Corvallis. I'm Joseph Hedberg, and tonight I have your 5-day forecast. Tonight we have a low of 46 degrees and rain. Wednesday, expect rain in most areas. We have a high of 52 and a low of 45 degrees at night. Thursday, unfortunately, we continue with more rain and a high of 46 during the day with a chilly 28 degrees at night. Friday is looking a little more promising with the partly sunny skies and a high of 45 degrees with a low of 30 at night. Saturday, expect to see more cloud cover with a high of 46 and a low of 37 at night. And finally, Sunday, we're back to the usual winter rain with a high of 48 and a low of 39. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Joe. A 9-year-old boy is set to be honored at the Clayton County Fire Department next Tuesday. CNN reports that Malik Gibson from Johannesburg, Georgia, used the Heimlich remover to help save his brother after a piece of peppermint candy stuck in his throat while his parents were out doing yard work. Gibson said that he learned the Heimlich after watching it on a Disney cartoon. After several seconds, he was able to get the candy out. The boy's great-grandmother witnessed the event and said the boy realized what was going on and started the Heimlich. It would have been unlikely that the 2-year-old Michael Gibson would not have survived if they would have waited for an ambulance.
During this time of the election, no place is safe from campaign ads, not even the Super Bowl. But some think Democratic candidate Randall Terry is taking his message too far. Terry, anti-abortionist and lifelong Republican, has put his name on the Democratic ticket in order to run ads for his campaign. However, these ads are extremely controversial and display graphic, morbid images of aborted fetuses in an attempt to guilt-trip Christians who voted for Obama into swaying them to vote Republican come next election. As reported by CNN, as per Section 315 of the FCC Telecommunications Act, stations must add campaign ads for candidates during an election year and are prohibited from changing the content of said ads. The controversial imagery contains the following statement superimposed over the face of President Obama. Quote, "Abortion is murder. The innocent blood of 50 million babies cries out to God from our sewers and landfills. We must make it a crime to murder them or heaven will judge America." End quote. Because of the graphic nature, these ads, many stations have issued disclaimers before airing the ads. The ads are set to play during the game in Ada, Oklahoma, Grand Junction, Colorado, Paducah, Kentucky, and Joplin and Springfield, Missouri.
A search and rescue team saved a Pasadena teenager and 2 of her friends from a cliff in Mallard Canyon in Los Angeles County Thursday. CNN reports that the group was hiking on Sunday when one of them got stuck in a steep ravine. A forestry technician who was working in the National Forest was the first to notice the 3 teens. One of them was stuck on a cliff with a 100-foot drop. The other 2 teens, a 17 and 18-year-old, were trapped 40 feet above the canyon bottom. All 3 of them were lowered safely by the rescue crew and united by the fourth hiker who was with them before the incident.
Every state in the country has a different outlook on how guns should or should not be handled within their boundaries, but one state could be a little more clear. Gun laws in New York have caused confusion recently with regards to how a concealed weapon should be dealt with. As reported by CNN, a recent legal issue was raised when ex-Marine Ryan Jerome tried to check his handgun into security when he and his wife entered the Empire State Building. When he asked where he could store his weapon, he was immediately arrested. As a resident of Indiana, Jerome had a license to carry a concealed handgun with him at all times. However, according to New York state law, that license is invalid inside the state. Similar occurrences have happened in the past few months, all regarding individuals who have willingly surrendered their concealed weapons to security forces in good faith. As of now, the case is still pending, but Jerome could spend up to 3 years in jail. We're heading into our final break of the evening, but we will have more of your national and international stories when we return. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Beaver News right here on Channel 26. In the continued debate over the use of stem cells, a new scientific breakthrough has proven that stem cells can actually help people. And a recent test, 2 elderly women with sight problems had stem cells injected into their corneas. Shortly thereafter, the 2 women noticed that their vision had improved drastically. CNN is reporting that both women suffered from macular degeneration, a disease that destroys eyesight over time. However, these stem cells taken from an embryo had stopped and even reversed the process. Dr. Steven Schwartz at the UCLA Jules Stein Eye Institute said, quote, "This is a big step forward for regenerative medicine. It's nowhere near treatment for vision loss, but it's signaled that embryonic stem cell-based strategies may work." End quote. However, Dr. Schwartz predicts that it is possible that for these two women to lose their eyesight again, and there's no way that there is a cure to vision loss. With the success of these 2 patients, Dr. Schwartz plans to initiate similar procedures on 22 more patients to find how truly stem cells could possibly help.
Megaupload, the massive file-sharing site, was brought to court this week in New Zealand. The founder, Kim Schmitz, also known as Kim.com, and several other co-founders were taken into custody by New Zealand police at the request of the United States government. The U.S. government decided to halt all activity through Megaupload, even going so far as to accuse the site of, quote, international organized criminal enterprise responsible for massive worldwide online piracy of copyrighted works, end quote. As reported by CNN, Schmitz was arrested in his mansion in Auckland, New Zealand without resistance, and whether he should be put on bail is currently being debated. While running, Megaupload was one of the world's largest file-sharing sites, allowing users to share and download files, oftentimes illegally. Currently, the United States government is working on extraditing Schmitz and his co-founders to the United States to face criminal charges.
A 5.8 magnitude earthquake struck central Chile Monday afternoon, though fortunately nobody was hurt in the aftermath. CNN is reporting that the U.S. Geological Survey gave the earthquake a preliminary magnitude of 6.2. It was about 10 miles deep and 40 miles northeast of Concepcion, Chile, officials said. There were several aftershocks reported, but in the end it seems that there was minimal damage, resulting in not more than just a scare.
After being at sea for more than 518 days, 16-year-old Laura Decker finally returned home Saturday from her solo sailing expedition around the world. The young Dutch girl began her journey when she was only 14, much to the dismay of Dutch authorities. Before she was allowed to go on her journey, Dutch authorities tried to stop her, claiming the voyage was too dangerous for someone her age. Her parents, on the other hand, were extremely supportive and, after proving to the government that she was skilled enough to make the journey, saw her off from her starting point in Gibraltar on August 21, 2010. During her trip, Decker stopped in several tropical ports, including the Galapagos Islands, Bora Bora, and Cape Town, South Africa. Young Decker kept track of her journey, claiming to have traveled 27,000 miles in her 38-foot yacht deemed the Guppy before finally returning to the Caribbean port on Saturday. We now go to Sam Nicholas with the sports.
Thanks, Hayden. An Oregon State basketball great returned to campus this past Saturday to watch the men's basketball team's 78-59 win over USC. Legendary point guard and assumed future NBA Hall of Famer Gary Payton returned to his alma mater in a highly publicized visit in which he addressed the media before the game and spoke to the Beavers in the locker room just before tip-off. Payton received a standing ovation as he was introduced to the home crowd early in the first half and spent the majority of the game signing autographs and taking pictures with fans. Payton played all 4 years at Oregon State and was selected Sports Illustrated's Player of the Year in his senior season. He was selected All Pac-10 3 times and led the Beavers to 3 NCAA tournaments during his college career. He was selected second overall in the 1990 NBA draft by the Seattle Supersonics. The football world took notice this weekend when rumors and unofficial reports circulated that Chip Kelly, the University of Oregon's head football coach, could be moving on to the NFL. However, the university sent out a press release on Monday stating that Kelly had turned down the head coaching position with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to remain at Oregon. In an official statement, Kelly thanked the Buccaneers organization for their interest, but said, quote, "After numerous discussions, I concluded that I have some unfinished business to complete at the University of Oregon." The Oregon State gymnastics team has been one of the most successful Beaver athletic programs over the past few years, and this season is looking to be no different. OSU gymnastics are currently ranked number 10 in the nation, led by 4 all-around competitors. While many teams rely on each gymnast for only a few events each, Oregon State's Leslie Mack, Michaela Stambaugh, and Brittany Harris all regularly compete in vault, uneven bars, balance beam, and floor routines at each meet. In Friday's win over the University of Arizona, freshman Chelsea Tang competed in all 4 events for the first time in her college career, making her the 4th of Oregon State's all-around athletes. Stambaugh said of her teammates, quote, "To have that many all-arounders on a team, it means that we have a lot of talent on this team and we're not stronger on just one event." The Oregon State women's basketball team is preparing this week for the Civil War showdown against the University of Oregon this Saturday at Gill Coliseum. The Pac-12 announced yesterday that the rivalry game will be broadcast nationally on Fox Sports Network, with tip-off at 4 p.m. Pacific Time. Both teams will enter the game with conference records of 3-5, while Oregon State has the upper hand in the overall standings with a record of 12-7 to Oregon's 11-9. And that's your Pac-12 athletics update.
We want to thank you for joining us tonight. Make sure you join us again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Channel 26 KBVR News.